In today's episode, I speak to Cameron French from TheFrenchDipDesign, an illustrator and designer from Denver, Colorado. You might have seen his work on Kinda Funny's merch store, or the thumbnails and cover art for this podcast, among other places. It was great to chat to Cameron about some of his favourite games, and I very much hope you all enjoy Memory Card number 8. Hello and welcome to Memory Cards. I'm Sam Hall, and today I'm joined by illustrator, designer, live streamer, and all-around cool person, Cameron French.
Oh my gosh, Sam. Thank you so much for having me, buddy. I'm so excited to be here.
That's okay, I'm happy to have you. Would you like to explain who you are and what you do to the audience who haven't heard of you?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Cameron French, the French Dip Design. I'm an illustrator and designer, fully freelance as of the start of this year. As we all know, layoffs are happening quite rampantly across the globe, especially here in the United States. And I decided to kind of take my destiny into my own hands. And this illustration design business is something that's been brewing for lots of years. And so I was like, now's the time to do it. And I've had the pleasure of working with some incredible people, including the very own Sam Hall, who we see here.
Yeah.
And it's been an absolute blast to really find community, to find great clients to work with. But it's a very interesting time to start your own business in 2026, but I'm having fun.
Yeah, awesome. I first got in contact with you at the start of this year, and as people will know, we've done a little bit of a rebrand. We've got the Hall of Games in the corner there. We've got the memory cards in the background, so thank you for that. I obviously got in touch with you at the start of the year. I didn't even realise that you'd only gone full time a few weeks prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like making that change and going into like full time freelance?
Yeah, it was crazy. The illustration and design stuff has been nights and weekends
Mm.
since 2020. So since the global pandemic, that's when I had my corporate job, my 9 to 5, and I needed something to do on the nights and weekends to just like have some sanity. And so I started to do art again, which has always been my number one passion. And yeah, then I slowly started to like I'd receive a DM and it'd be someone saying like, "Hey, can you design a t-shirt?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." 15 bucks. I was just like, this is just I'm doing it for fun and I'm doing it with friends. And then I started to realize that um, there was potential and people seemed to really resonate with the things that I was designing and illustrating. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I can make this more legitimate. And so I started my LLC. I actually created the business here in the States in October of 2024.
Mm.
And then my full-time job started to see layoffs pretty
Mm.
consistently. Teams were getting laid off, individuals were getting the boot, and it was a matter of time before it was my calling, my time to kind of punch out of corporate America. And December of last year, so December of 2025, my boss jumped on a call with me and said, "It's unfortunately that time." And I was like, okay, well, that's what I've been building towards this whole time. So that's when I was like, all right, let's do this. If I don't take this risk and try and bet on myself, I knew that I would regret it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so far, even though it's incredibly stressful, I'm like, my brain feels so good. It just feels good to like pursue the thing that you want to do the most. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm riding this until the rails fall off.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. I mean, definitely sounds like you've made the right choice then. But yeah, I'm loving seeing what you do and seeing all the people you're working with. And
Thanks,
of course,
buddy.
you helped change this, so thank you.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, connecting with you was, especially at the start of this year when I was
Mm.
really like on my own,
Yeah.
it was kind of that moment of being like, okay, the right people will find you as
Mm.
long as you keep doing the right things,
Yeah.
like um it's just like finding your community and then having the people talk about you in rooms that you're not even in.
Mm.
And it feels like yeah, we're all kind of like cheering each other on. It's hard right now in 2026. It doesn't feel particularly good to be a human
Mm.
like in this day and age,
Yeah.
especially here in the States. I mean, God bless y'all across the pond. I hope things are a little bit easier.
Uh,
But
we'll
over
see.
here in the States, I'm just like,
Yeah.
this isn't what we all wanted when we were
Mm,
kids. But,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I completely hear you. No, yes, you're definitely finding like a community. And of course, I heard about you through Kind of Funny.
Mhm.
I purchased one of the Kind of Funny mugs that you'd done. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was called, but it just had Kind of Funny on it.
Mhm.
And I loved that. And yeah, I assume a lot of people sort of have heard of you from Kind of Funny, and then sort of
Yeah.
stuck to you from there.
Yeah, it's been crazy how much that community. I mean, and we know the Kind of Funny
Mm.
community, the Kind of Funny best friends are incredibly vocal about supporting independent small teams.
Yeah.
That's how Kind of Funny started.
Mm.
They left IGN to go out on their own, and so I think that ideal of we have to support each other
Mm.
to sustain ourselves and to continue forward. I think that's been instilled in Kind of Funny's DNA since the very beginning,
Yeah.
and I think it was 2021. So I'd only been doing art for a year. My feet were barely wet with doing art for clients. And I sent Roger and Joey a message and I was like, hey, if y'all ever need someone to do some merch, I'm doing
Nice.
this thing. And yeah, they both vouched for me and connected me with like Tim and Greg. And then that was kind of all she wrote. And ever since
Mm.
then, it's so cool to be like, hey, I still have your Pride t-shirt from 2 years ago, or I have your Jabronis t-shirt
Mm.
from when Mike first joined the company in like 2022. And so it's cool to see that like our paths are kind of
Yeah.
interwoven together. And I'm so grateful for them. They've been awesome.
Yeah, 100%. When did you start watching Kind of Funny?
I started watching Kind of Funny before they were Kind of Funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was probably 2014
Mm.
that I saw that Greg and Nick. I saw a thumbnail on them on YouTube, and they were talking about Saturday morning cartoons or something. And I was like, oh, I recognize these guys from IGN. I didn't know they did
Ah,
anything outside of it. So started watching the Game Over Greggy podcast, and then boom, that early January day in 2015 hit. And I was like, what are they doing? How are they quitting these cushy jobs,
mm.
in the highest standard of the video game industry? But watching them do that I would not be where I am
Mhm.
career wise if I didn't see them do that. So I think that's what we got to keep doing, keep
Yeah.
taking risks and keep betting on ourselves.
Yeah, I love that. I love the sort of the vibe that they foster with that in terms of getting anyone in the community can just sort of chase their dreams and do whatever they want.
Mhm.
Um, it's like Blaster Goblins, Greg
Oh
Way
my
the
God.
other week. That's
Incredible.
so good.
The Gob way. Yeah.
Yeah, the God Way, amazing. Um, so I'm afraid I've actually got some bad news for you.
Oh,
um,
great.
so I lured you onto this podcast because I need gaming memories and opinions to survive. It's just I'm built like that. I consume them and wipe them from a subject's mind in the process. And unfortunately, as an avid game enjoyer yourself, you're my next victim. So,
Hooray, you're gonna get some cursed memory cards here, buddy.
God. Yeah, I'm afraid there's nothing you can do now to stop the process. It's already started. However, I'm quite kind, you see, so I wish to offer you the opportunity to keep some of your favourite and most influential memories and opinions. I will ask you a series of questions about your experiences playing video games. Whatever you answer shall remain in your memory when you wake up tomorrow morning. Everything else will be gone. Do you understand the terms I've laid out for you?
I hope so.
all good. So firstly, what was your first games console?
Oh, I'm very lucky that my family had the original NES, the
Mm,
Nintendo Entertainment System. So video games, I was born in 91. So the NES had been out for, a couple years, and I have two older brothers. So I'm very lucky that video games in the home have always been kind of a part of my life. But yeah, the NES was my very first games console.
I'm very jealous of Nintendo kids, as people like to call them.
Yeah.
I didn't get into Nintendo till I was a little bit older, um, but that's great. The
Oh
Nintendo
yeah.
Entertainment System. And what was the
Mhm.
first game you remember playing?
Super Mario Brothers, obviously.
Mm.
That was, I don't think it was packaged with the NES, but I'm sure it was just like you pick up the console, you pick up Mario Brothers. And so that was definitely one of the first ones. But the first one that I remember sticking out in my mind on the NES was Spy Hunter.
Mm.
And I'm not, you know me, Sam, I'm not like a cars guy, I'm not like a gearhead or anything, but watching on an NES, watching this super fast car turn into a motorcycle, turn into like an airplane and into a boat, I remember being like, oh, video games are like really real. Like this is striking a chord with me in particular. So yeah, Spy Hunter was the first one where I was like, hold on a second, there's something here.
Okay, Spy Hunter.
Yeah.
Um, and then quite a big question: what is your favorite game of all time?
Oh God. I feel like this changes every single day depending on the mood.
Yeah.
Um, I'm feeling particularly nostalgic right now, and I feel like the game that hit the hardest for me at the perfect time of my life was Kingdom Hearts 2.
Mm.
I was like, ooh, 12, 13, 14 in that build up. That was one of those times, you know, Square Enix loves to have a long stick with a tiny carrot that you're like, hopefully that comes out someday.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 4. I mean,
Mm.
um, but I remember going to websites and forums and researching all these different things in the lead up to Kingdom Hearts 2. And it was just so special. It was the first time I felt like I was part of a community in video games.
Mm.
And so I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 has to be my answer for favorite video game of all time. But I'm hoping something
Yeah.
knocks it off that pedestal. I think we all kind of hope that. Like
Mm.
every new game that comes out, we're like, will this be my favorite game of all time?
Damn.
And some games have gotten close recent years. So
Yeah. I've said this on a previous episode. I've never played the Kingdom Heart any of the Kingdom Hearts games. I've also heard they're very quite like confusing in that
oh,
there's yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
convoluted
Yeah.
and disarmingly bad storytelling in
Okay.
some ways. But like, I mean, maybe you just have to be an angsty teen at the time
Yeah.
to really love it. But
Maybe.
I don't know, they're fun. They're fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
you're
get
getting
around
into
to it.
Pokemon now. It's never
Yeah.
too late.
That's true.
It's never
Yeah.
too
I mean, I felt like I had enough. I had enough knowledge of Pokemon just from like Pokemon Go and a
late.
little bit from playing when I was younger. But we'll see. I'll try Kingdom Hearts at some point, and
Yeah.
we'll see
We'll
if
do a
it's
little
so hot.
streamathon. You give me a game that I should play that I haven't played, and
Yes,
you try Kingdom Hearts. You know, I'm always
that's a
down for something like that.
that's a cool idea. Speaking of games we've played a lot of, what game do you have the most hours in, and how many hours?
Oh man, I wish I would have like tracked this when I was a kid. How
Mm.
early were you playing video games?
Um, that's hard to say. I I'm trying to remember. So I had a PlayStation 1 in the house. It was my
Okay.
dad's, and I
Hmm.
think probably what I can remember playing the earliest is like Tomb Raider, so stuff like that. But I didn't
Hmm.
really get into games until my teenage years, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah, because there's some games from when I was a kid that I'm like, I must have put like 1,000 hours into that, you know, because
Yeah.
your parents are like, you can have one game for your
Mhm.
birthday or
Yeah.
something, and then that's just like the game you're playing constantly. And so even though recently I would say it's Fortnite, which is
Mm.
crazy. I never thought I would ever play Fortnite. And I just looked the other day, and between playing it on the Switch and the PC, I'm at like 250 hours or some
Nice.
crazy amount. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a Fortnite kid
You
now.
felt like it.
Oy, oy, oy. But I would say probably the video game that I have the most hours in has to be the original Pokemon Blue.
Mm.
I remember just like doing nothing but playing that game when I was a kid,
Yeah.
just constantly. Like my mom having to like rip my fingers off of the Game Boy because I was just too locked in. And I'd say I probably put just like hundreds and hundreds of hours into the original Pokemon Blue.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it's so different playing those games now. Like I can't imagine having to like learn all of that for yourself while playing that game.
It's crazy because you're playing Leaf Green
I'm
on
playing
stream.
Fire Red, but yeah.
I read. Okay, same as me.
Hmm.
And there's even moments where I'm like, I'm 35 and I'm having a hard time being like, "Oh, you wanted me to do that?
Yeah.
You're not explaining it very well." The fact that I even beat that game when I
Mm.
was 7 or 8 is nuts. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think I have no idea if I'm playing it right or what. I'm I'm basically just over leveling
Yep,
my war
good.
turtle to like I think he's like level 35 or something now, whereas the rest of my team are like 14 and 15.
Oh yeah.
So my war turtle's just demolishing people in one hit.
That's okay. You got the heavy hitter. You have the big boy on the team. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I don't know. Pokemon is just so special, and it's so cool to watch you play it on
Mm.
Twitch through new eyes.
Yeah.
Someone who, like you said, has experience with the series
Yes.
just in your periphery,
Hmm.
but to watch you actually play it, I'm like, I don't know. It's just like watching some of the magical moments kind of unlock and click into place for you. I'm like, dang,
Yeah.
this is such a good video game.
It is so good, and the more I've played it, the more I've like looked up some of the other games that I think I remember from when I was younger,
Mhm.
and I think the one I played the most was Diamond or Pearl. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was
Okay, on the
Diamond.
DS,
Yeah,
right?
on the DS. So that
Yeah.
was when I played the most. So I'm think I'm going to be trying the was it Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl
Oh,
remakes. I've heard they're quite good. So
they're very good. A lot of people hated on them because it's like graphically they're
yeah,
chibi versions, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm all for more style rather than
okay.
higher fidelity or anything.
That's fair. I do like the old 2D style. I just like pixel art like a lot.
It's so
So
good.
yeah.
It's so good.
But okay, what is a popular game you have not played yet but want to?
Oh my God, my perpetual backlog. Um, Baldur's Gate 3, I
Ah.
think. I've never gotten to do a Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from a very small town. Not a lot of people played video games, let alone talked about Dungeons and Dragons. And so D&D has always been at the top of my list. And Baldur's Gate 3 came out. We didn't have a PC yet, and everyone said playing on console was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But that's a game that I'm just like, I need to play it. Every time I see people play it, they have a blast. And so I'm just wondering, maybe I could get a little crew together
Mm-hmm.
and we could do a little four-player Baldur's Gate 3 run.
Get a co-op campaign going.
Have you played through BG3?
I have. Well, I've not I've not finished yet technically. Um, so yeah, I like you. I've never played D&D before, but I've always sort of been like, oh, I kind of want to do that. It would be cool.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 came out. I kept seeing the clip of like the stupid choices you can make,
Yeah.
like kicking the squirrel at a tree, which obviously horrible. Why would you do that? But just the
Yeah.
fact that you could do that in a game, it's like,
I know. It's
um,
crazy.
yeah. So yeah, I have played it. I'm still on my playthrough. I'm very close to the end. I think I just haven't gone back and finished it, but
Okay.
but it is very good, and I would love to do a co-op campaign. So
Okay. When you finish it, if you do it on stream, make a
mm,
big hullabaloo about that because I want to watch it on stream. Even
okay,
though, because every ending is different, there's like
yeah,
no spoilers because it's your own story. So I would love to
yeah.
see how yours goes.
Yeah, I hope you'd get no spoilers. I do like I love creating a character. That's the best thing about that game. Like your character and like the backstory you can give them as well is just so in depth. It's great.
Hmm.
What is a popular game you will never play? Very different.
Oh, um, I would say my initial thought is like a Call of Duty
Mm,
or a Battlefield,
hmm.
just because I'm not really into like realistic shooters that
Yeah.
much. I used to be. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 back in the day. Me and my
Hmm.
buddies put, oh my God, like hundreds of hours into those games.
Yeah.
Um, and so I don't want to like write those off because now that I'm getting more into Twitch streaming and
Mm,
playing multiplayer games, that might be on the docket someday. But a game or like a style of game that I'm never gonna try is like probably any proper sports game.
mm,
Like I'm not gonna do a Madden NFL or an NCAA basketball.
yeah.
I grew up as a little gay kid in rural Nebraska. I was forced to like sports so much, Sam.
Yeah.
It was
I feel that.
so aggravating for me. And I was just like, I don't want to play basketball. I want to draw and dance over here with the girls and come up with cheers. And so I think I owe it to my adult self to just be like, if you don't want to play a sports game, buddy,
Hmm.
don't play a sports game.
Yeah.
But if it is like a cool snowboarding game, I'll play a cool snowboarding game.
Yeah.
SSX. Have you ever dabbled in SSX or SSX Tricky?
Actually, yeah, SSX Tricky I played a lot when I was younger. Yeah.
Oh, a knower,
So much
Sam.
style.
Yes. Oh, so good. So
Mm.
good.
The soundtrack was amazing as well.
Hmm.
It's funny how much I was related to. I'm a straight guy, but I was so I was so related to everything you were saying about being forced to like sports as a kid.
Yeah, you're just like, why do we have to do this? I
I don't
guess this is
know.
the most aggro way of showing your dominance, but
Yeah,
yeah, we're too soft. We're soft
yeah.
boys. That's
It was
okay.
soft.
That's okay. We're a little doughy in the
I just
feelings.
wanted to go and play guitar
I know.
instead of playing
God,
football in the cold.
I know.
If you could live in any video game world, which would it be and why?
I remember the height of the Pokemon craze. So 1999. Again, I have two older brothers. One of my older brothers stormed into my bedroom. And he was like, "Did you see the news? They found a Geodude off the coast of Australia. The Pokemon are coming." And I believed him more than I think I've believed in anything in this entire world.
Oh,
And I just remember crying. I was
mm.
like, finally, it's happening. And the moment I started crying was the moment that he could see, like, oh no, I've
Oh,
made a
no.
huge mistake and I'm going to get into so much trouble.
That's so
And
totally.
so I ran up to my mom and I was like, Pokemon are real, mom. Can I please? I remember I wanted like a Poliwhirl so bad. I don't know why Poliwhirl. And she was like, oh no, you're so dumb and so sweet.
Yeah.
And that's not happening. And can you get your brother down here right now? I need to
Mm.
have a conversation with him. And so I think from that moment, it's just like it caused a core memory in my brain where I'm like,
Mhm.
if Pokemon were real, can you imagine just like you just got a house full of little buddies and there you can just like curl up and like give
Yeah,
Jigglypuff a little hug. So I think that would be the world that I would love to have as a reality.
that's such a cool answer. Actually, I've never thought about it like that because, like, obviously, yeah. I mean, obviously, you can have pets, but like, it's not the same as just having your own guy just following you around everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, what was your favorite? What is your favorite Pokemon? Actually, I'm not sure if I know this.
Oh, my favorite Pokemon.
Another hard question.
Yeah, there's only over 1,000,
Yeah.
Sam. There's only a couple. Um, this is another thing like video game question. Answer is going to
Mm,
change every day of the week,
okay.
but I feel like my easy go to is Empoleon. Have you ever
Mm,
seen Empoleon?
I probably have, but I can't remember. Empoleon. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like an emperor penguin.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a
Mm.
big old, you can't see it because of my arm. I got a big old penguin
Oh,
tattoo up
wow.
here. Um,
Nice.
yeah, penguins have just always been a part of my life. My mom loves penguins.
Mm,
And so Empoleon, when I saw that there was a penguin starter for a Pokemon game, I was like, lock in.
hmm
We've been waiting for this moment. And so Empoleon's just so cool. But also, I love like the dumb Pokemon. I have a Metapod tattoo. I
Yeah,
think you've seen it on
I've seen
stream.
that.
It's so dumb
Mhm.
that I have that as a tattoo, but like Mr. Bungle, yeah,
Yeah.
I love the Pokemon that nobody else loves.
Okay.
Who's your favorite now that you've been really putting
Yeah.
some time into the series?
Yeah. So my mind immediately goes to Cyndaquil. I
Ooh,
don't. I
yeah.
just like Cyndaquil. I think because the one I played the most when I was younger, I think was um. Wait, Which one is Cyndaquil a starter in?
Gold and silver.
Gold and silver. Okay. Maybe I did play some with gold and silver as well then. Because I do. I'm sure I remember having Cyndaquil as like the guy following you around. Um, but I also just love Blastoise
Oh
and
yeah.
Wartortle. Like I do like Squirtle as well, but Wartortle and Blastoise are so cool.
Middle evolutions, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves to dunk on the middle evolutions.
Yeah, I
I think
know.
War Turtle's so cool. The wavy little
Yeah.
ears and the tail. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you get to keep
And the
that in your
face is
final
like
evolution?
angrier as
Oh,
well.
he's so mad. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just a little teen. He's gonna go
Yeah.
shop at Hot Topic and listen to My
Yes.
Chemical Romance, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
cheers, bud. Let's do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you're right. Evolutions are so underrated. Quilava as well, actually, because he's got a little mohawk. Oh, so
Yes.
cool. So cool. Um, so live in a Pokemon world, yeah, that would be cool. And like people don't really die in Pokemon. They just sort of like the Pokemon faint, and
Yeah,
then you're just battling for fun and competition. Like that's
exactly.
that's a safe world.
and you could just have a little guy to just like start a fire if you need to,
Yeah.
or yeah, I don't know. There's something about it that I'm like, dang,
Mm,
the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, Game Freak,
mm,
they all really cooked on that idea. And
mm.
I'm so happy that it's the highest grossing IP of all time. I think
Yeah,
it's very well deserved
it
because
is.
it's a game for any age, I think.
What is a game that you wish existed? So some people have trouble with this question. So it could be like a particular genre of game from a certain developer or a particular
Mhm.
IP that you want to have in a game.
Um, it was just announced recently, yesterday,
Mm.
but very recently, that Ryan Coogler, famous for
Yeah.
Black Panther and all of his work with Michael B. Jordan and all of his
Hmm.
incredible movies like Sinners, he's I think he's one of the producers on an adaptation of Animorphs, which is coming out. Did you ever read Animorphs?
No.
You will know the book covers the moment you see them, Sam.
Oh, I've seen these book covers. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
is that a
these
spider? Ugh.
Oh yeah, a bunch of creepy crawlies, lots of
Ugh.
yeah, big animals, little animals, animals that climb on rocks. Um,
Amazing.
this book series was so special to me as a
Mm.
kid. It's all about teens who can transform into animals at any moment, and
Amazing.
then eventually they have to save the world and the universe.
Of
And
course.
the author is incredible, K.A. Applegate. She's
Yeah.
very outspoken about lots of social topics and personal topics that are
Of course.
very good to be outspoken about. And I love that for
Love
an
that.
author of a children's series. And the fact that he's going to do Animorphs has always been in the back of my brain. I think there was a Game Boy Advance game way back in the
Mm.
day, and it was terrible. It was not good at all. But like, I feel like that series and that IP is pretty ripe for a video game adaptation. Being able to transform into any animal at any whim. I don't really know what the gameplay style would be or what dev team I would want to work on it. Maybe like a Sucker Punch or an Insomniac, someone who really understands how the interaction with the world
Mm.
really helps elevate how the gameplay kind of evolves. But I don't know. Animorphs would be very cool for a video game.
That's a proper deep cut. I like that answer a lot. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to read Animorphs, but if
No.
if Ryan Coogler's adaptation, comes true, I'll check it out.
Oh, it'll be so good. And I've
Oh,
never
I'm
seen
sure.
him do like teen angst in any way. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It should be good. It won't be
Yeah.
bad.
No, hopefully.
I'll be
Um,
there day one, no matter what.
yeah. I think I know the answer to this question, but what is the last game you played that was outside of your comfort zone?
You do know the answer to this one because I played Elden Ring for a whole week.
Mm,
Um, as you alluded to earlier, one of the things I've started to do now that I'm fully freelance is I've been doing Twitch streams every single morning for us here in the States, afternoon, evening for you all
yeah.
over across the pond. And uh, enough channel points were put into this bank that I had to play my very first FromSoft game. I've never played a modern FromSoft game because they're so scary and
Mm,
intimidating. And I watch my husband play them and he's yelling and screaming at the TV. And I'm like, I can't do that. That's not video games for me.
mm.
And so I tried Elden Ring and it was really good. And
Good
I'm
game.
as if I thought it would be bad. I mean, come on. It's one of the highest like rated and selling games of the past couple years. Of course it was going to be good, but I was so nervous, Sam, about how I would react to it. I'm
Mm.
like, is this going to make me like fired up and like end the stream on a whim because I'm so frustrated? But
Rage quit.
turns out I'm actually like kind of good at it. I think
You're
I
a good gamer.
I took down who's the
Um, oh my god, I've forgotten his name already. The first
Mag
boss.
Morrigan or something.
I had it
Mm,
in my head. Margit. That's it. Margit the Fell
yeah,
Omen.
beat him in 2 tries,
Two
which is
tries.
crazy. And everyone was like, hold on, you?
Yeah.
Like the dude who's struggling to like run left in Pokemon Fire Red. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it felt good to like do something out of my comfort zone.
Mm,
And I should probably do it more, but Elden Ring is such a massive game. Have
yeah.
you completed it?
I have. Yeah. Yeah.
Dang. How many
Yes.
hours do you think you put into it?
Um, I think it said something like 150, but
Oh,
I'm fairly new to FromSoft games in that before
okay.
Elden Ring, I'd only played the Demon Souls remake, and I've still not even finished that. I just played some of that.
Hmm.
Um, but I liked Elden Ring because when you get stuck, you can just go away for 4 hours and level up and do something else and come back.
Hmm.
So I think I played way too much before getting to the end. Like I was quite over leveled by the end of
You're
the
war
game.
turtling yourself
Yeah,
on
I'm more
Elden Ring.
turtling exactly. I also like I'm so bad at like making builds of like
Oh,
characters.
yeah.
It kind of annoys me. Like I'm just bad at it. So I didn't have like a really efficient build. I just picked a sword that looked cool and armor that
Hmm.
looked cool, and I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just all style. But yeah, and I think I said this on your stream. I played most of Elden Ring while simultaneously watching every episode of Suits, the
That
series.
that's a crazy
I know,
cross pollination
I
of.
know.
So, how, yeah, how did that make you feel about not only the game but the TV show too?
Well, actually, I'd watched Suits before.
Okay,
It's bizarrely one of my favorite like shows.
I've heard it's so good.
It is really good, especially like the first like 4 seasons.
Okay.
I've probably rewatched the first four so many times. So I was sort of half concentrating on Suits, more concentrating on Elden Ring, but
Hmm.
and I know people love the story of Elden Ring and like how lore heavy it is and how you can go into the uh, go deep into the details with it. But I did not. I don't like a story like that. I just don't. I just
Yeah, I was reading everything
hmm
aloud. I couldn't tell you one thing that I retained. I couldn't
exactly
even
name
name
the
the
boss.
the guy. Yeah, the fact
Exactly.
that both of us, I mean, he's kind of iconic. He's
Yeah.
the first really big boss,
Yeah.
and both of us are like Magdalene, Marionette. What was his
Margaret.
name? Yeah, Margaret or
Yeah.
something.
And the thing is, there's
Yeah,
Margaret, and then I'm sure there's one which is like it's not Margaret, but there's one.
Millennia or
There is Millennia, but who is a great boss. But then there's another
okay.
one with like a similar name to Margaret, and I don't know. There's just oh, um,
Yeah.
but great
It
game though.
also, oh, fantastic. I mean, you can see like pretty much the moment you pick up the sticks, you're like,
Mm.
oh, okay, I'm like already understanding why this game is so good.
Mhm.
Um, it, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how many FromSoft games I play. I think I might try the new one coming out on Nintendo Switch 2,
Yes. Yeah.
because it's multiplayer. I think it
Hmm.
would be really fun to like, do some community streams like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, streaming and reading chat and trying to keep
Mm.
everything, like keep everyone engaged. You know this.
Yeah,
You're
that's
so
tough.
good at this on Twitch. It's like
Oh, thank
that's hard to do with a game that you got to be 100% locked in
you.
on.
Mm.
So I might do more Elden Ring in my own solo time. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? You should. It is very good. There's been in
I'll just put
particular.
suits on.
Yeah, just put seats on it. Easy.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I do recommend that to people. Put a comfort show on. What game had the biggest impact on you, perhaps due to the circumstances around you as you played it?
Ooh.
So the game itself could be trash, but
Ooh. That's my brain immediately goes to like, what did you play during COVID?
mm.
Because and Animal Crossing obviously was such a huge part of COVID. Um, oh man, what is my favorite game that I played based on like circumstances surrounding me?
I mean, it's worded what game had the biggest impact on you, perhaps due to
Oh
circumstances around you. But if there's a cool
yeah,
story you've got about something that happened at the time you were playing a game, then
I think I would circle back to Kingdom Hearts 2,
mm,
just because that was the first time that I had like internet access enough to
mm,
really like let my like nerd side fully like I took the leash off,
mm,
and maybe I was sniffing around the internet looking for any details about Kingdom Hearts 2 that I could
yeah,
find. That was pretty special. So I think the build up to Kingdom Hearts 2 made the game. Oh, I remember hit and start, and something about Kingdom Hearts, it might not look that good nowadays, but back in the day, the opening cinematics were just like
mm,
gorgeous CGI rendered, very like action packed, beautiful to look at. And I remember I was like 15 years old, sitting in my basement in my hometown, put the disc into the PS2, and I was just like weeping. And I was like, I didn't think I would ever cry from watching a video game cinematic. And I think that's the beautiful thing of like when you stick with a series, something you really love, and then you get that payoff and it's
Yeah.
everything you want it to be. That's why I think Kingdom Hearts 2 has just such a strong resonance for me in my video game history. So yeah, I'd say
Mm.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's a good answer. So did you play Kingdom Hearts 1 like straight when it came out? I'm not sure what year it came out.
Yeah, I think it came out in 2002,
Mm.
and I was a big Disney kid.
Mm.
Loved Disney World, Disney movies, and it felt like a sense of like escapism for me. The closest neighbor I had growing up was a mile and a half away. So like, and there's less than 400 people in my small town. So for me, movies and video games were a way to see how big the world could be and like
Yeah.
really, stretch my imagination. And so when I saw that there was a video game that was Disney characters mixed with something I was just starting to get into, which is Final Fantasy,
Mm.
I was like, oh, it feels like it's mature, but it's also, imaginative and special. And so seeing those combined, I remember seeing Kingdom Hearts, the box at a Blockbuster where you could rent movies and video games, RIP
Yeah,
Blockbuster.
I know, so good.
Uh, and and I saw the box and I was like, Mom, I think I have to check this game out. And I remember even her saying like, oh yeah, there's Disney characters, cool buddy,
Yeah,
let's do
yeah.
it. And it like nothing has just sunk its teeth into me like that. That video
Mm.
game was so special.
Yeah, I was at a local game store yesterday, and I saw the Kingdom Hearts 2 case, and that is a beautiful looking game cover
That
actually.
silver
Oh,
sheen on the yeah,
that's
it's
cool.
something special. Yeah, it was very good.
What is your hot take game? This is the game which you disagree the most with its critical reception.
Hmm. Let's piggyback on Final Fantasy because
Mm,
I played, I wouldn't say the majority. I played about 50% of the Final Fantasy games. One of my favorite
damn.
series of all time. I got to go back and play some of the older ones, but Final Fantasy 13, I don't know if you remember, that game got dogged on when it first came out. People hated it. And it's starting to have its moment in the sun again, which I appreciate. And so my hot take is that Final Fantasy 13 is one of the best Final Fantasy games, full stop.
Mm,
Fantastic characters, all of the story beats that you love from Final Fantasy, crystals and transformations and summons, all these things that are like critical to Final Fantasy are
mm.
included in this game with so much love. I can't remember why people hated it so much, but I think it's one of the best Final Fantasy games, and I really want to go back and replay it. I'm
Mm.
That might be a new Twitch stream game. We might be doing a
Oh,
little FF13 love.
that'd be pretty cool. I'd watch that. I've not played me- really any of the Final Fantasy games apart from Final Fantasy VII. Um, I started playing that a couple of years ago, the
Hmm.
original
Oh,
one.
not remake or rebirth?
No, the original. Because
Good for you.
the remake had come out and Rebirth
Yeah.
was almost out, I think. And so I
Hmm.
was like, I want to play this, but I want to see because I'd only seen like screenshots
Yeah.
of the remake and screenshots of the old one, and I'm like, this is crazy. This is like an
Hmm.
awesome thing. I love
Yeah.
remakes, by the way. This is like a completely
Hmm.
separate topic, but I love game remakes. Um,
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, I want to see the original and I want to see the new one. So I played like the first third of Final Fantasy VII or whatever, or wherever I think it might end at the remake. I've still not finished remake yet.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I absolutely love that, and so I kind of want to play more of those games. We'll
It's
see if
so
I ever
good.
finish Seven remake and then Rebirth, and then whichever the third one is going to be called as well.
Any hint? I mean, I know you haven't played through all of seven.
Mm.
When you think of words that start with remake, rebirth, what's a guess that you have for what's the third
I
one?
mean, remake, rebirth, revenge, re,
Love it.
re, resurgence,
Love that.
return. I don't know. Could be anything.
It could be anything, but knowing Square Enix, it'll be like the weirdest word you've ever thought of
Yeah.
with like a colon and then 17 letters. and then a
Yeah.
couple backslashes.
Hmm.
It's just something you have to love with Square Enix. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited for that third one to come out.
Hmm. So have you played Remake and Rebirth as well then?
Yes, and I never got to beat Final Fantasy VII originally. We had a
Ah,
PS1 in our house
yeah.
too growing up, and my older brothers did not like, they only wanted to play the sports games.
Ah, okay.
So you can see
Okay.
why I have such an affinity, or I guess a dislike in like,
Mhm.
not a dislike, I don't know, I'm just like, I want to play
Yeah,
fantasy
you're
games,
like,
I
why are
want
you
to have
playing those when you
fun.
could be playing this?
Yeah, I'm like, that's football. Go outside, dude. What are you doing? Come on. And so I remember begging my brothers when we would go to Blockbuster, be like, please,
Mhm.
can we please rent this game? I just want to try it out. Never got to play Final Fantasy VII, never tried a port or anything
That's sad.
to put like enough hours into.
Mm.
I would always do the first like 5 hours. And so when Remake and Rebirth came out, I was like, okay, I finally get to
Yeah.
play through the story. So
I mean, at least you got those first 5 hours because like that is so iconic, and then playing it in the remake, it's literally like
yeah,
amazing.
it's crazy.
What upcoming game are you most looking forward to playing?
Hmm. I haven't played a Grand Theft Auto since Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Oh
So I think
wow,
I was maybe 16 when that came out. I somehow missed 4 and 5.
wow.
I don't know how that happened, but I want to see what they do for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Mhm, yeah.
I, honestly, Sam, is it coming out this year?
I
What do you
hope
think?
not because I've got it counterpicked on Fantasy Critic.
Okay, well then I'm going on record. I hope Final or Grand Theft Auto 6 does not come out this year because I
Yay!
want you to get all those points.
Thank you.
Um, but I am
Mm,
excited to see what that series is like now, and
mm,
it looks, it looks pretty from what we've seen in like the trailers.
mhm.
But I think a game definite lock this year that I'm super excited about is Wolverine.
Yeah.
I'm a huge X-Men fan,
Oh,
and um, I don't know how much X-Men will be in this game, but I'm excited
we'll
to
see.
like just rip some dudes apart with
Yeah.
some adamantium claws. I don't know. Every X-Men game is fun. I love
Mhm,
all the good ones and the bad ones. So this is gonna be like a heater, I think.
mhm. I'm excited because I've never really played like an X-Men game. Not
Cool.
that I can think of anyway.
Did
Um,
you enjoy the Spider-Man and
oh,
Spider-Man 2?
loved them, loved them.
Some of the best, right?
Some of the best, especially. In fact, my favorite of the three is probably Miles Morales, which I think is probably
Oh,
a hot take, but um,
it's so good.
it's so good and it's such a good like
Mhm.
length of story, and I don't
Yeah.
know, I thought the characters were really good in that one.
Hmm.
I think Spider-Man 1's a little bit long, and then Spider-Man 2, I I wanted them to go like darker with the story.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
I remember playing through Spider-Man 2, and this is slight spoilers for Spider-Man 2, anyone listening. But I remember when Peter gets you've finished Spider-Man 2, right?
Oh,
Just
oh
checking,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
checking.
No,
I remember
devoured it.
when Peter gets infected with the symbiote,
Hmm.
because everyone wasn't sure whether it was going to be Peter or Harry who was going to be Venom, and I was like, Peter being Venom. I know it's been done in the comics, but it would be such a different thing to see that in a game, and I
Yeah.
think like having to do, and we got to play as Venom as well, so I was like, why didn't you? I know it's like it would have to be a completely different story, but I think it would have been really cool to see Peter do that and then
Mhm.
have to like see him sort of suffering with what he did when he was infected. But anyway,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
still a
felt
great
like
game.
a half measure. It
Exactly.
felt like they were just being very faithful to like
Yeah,
comics and the stories that we
yeah,
all know. But I'm like, come on, just like
yeah,
give us something a little bit different. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 was
yeah,
very, there was a lot of stuff in that game.
yeah.
There's
There's a
some
lot.
things happen to some characters that you're like, oh, I guess we're just gonna do this for
Yeah,
30 minutes and then not touch on that ever again. But
yeah,
I digress. It's
yeah.
still such a good game.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
What is your memory card game? This is the flagship question of the podcast. If you could wipe just one game from your memory and experience playing it for the first time again, what game would you choose and why? I'll let you remember this one. Sorry, no,
Uh,
I'll purposely make you forget this one so you can play it again for the first
yeah. This is
time.
where I get a little bit of a
Yeah,
benefit out of this.
yeah.
I would say, oh, I've said so many good games. I'm gonna say Pokemon Gold.
Ooh, okay.
Pokemon Gold specifically because I don't know how much of this Pokemon journey are you gonna go on? Are you gonna do Fire Red, Leaf Green into Heart Gold, Soul Silver,
I would
or
like to do Heart Gold Soul Silver, but they're not on Switch, are they?
no, not yet. I think you'd
Yeah.
have to get them from some other means. Who knows how to do
Yeah,
that?
I could allegedly get them from some other means.
Yeah, but who wants to do that?
Yeah.
Um, but let's just say some things transpire in the
Hmm.
game that really makes those two games, just gold and silver, heart gold and soul silver,
Hmm.
interchangeable. I think um, really special to this series and how you grow with the series. So yeah, those games are just so good, and there
Hmm.
has to be there has to be a Pokemon somewhere, in my memory that I'm like, if I could just wipe it
Yeah.
and start clean, I think it would be that one.
And you'd still have the knowledge of Pokemon Blue, so you wouldn't. It's not like you'd have no Pokemon knowledge. That's pretty sick.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
But would I retain all of the subsequent games?
Uh, oh
That's
yeah, we'll see.
logistics. We're
Yeah,
not going to worry about
no, no, it's fine.
that.
I'll figure that out.
Yeah, that's up to you. Come on,
Yeah,
you
that's
you
yeah,
got me here. You're eating my memories.
yeah,
You can
yeah. Yeah, don't try and sneak anything by me.
yeah.
um, finally, what is one game that you think everyone should play? The game you answer with will be placed into the Hall of Games for future generations.
Oh, oh, that's hard.
Would you like me to recount the previous answer? I know I've already told you them, but I
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
recount the
Please.
previous answers.
Yeah.
So we already have in our Hall of Games Age of Empires, A Thousand Times Resist, amazing game. Thank you.
Yes.
Near Automata, or how do you say that? Automata?
Automata, I think. I still haven't
Automata.
played
I
it.
say it wrong every time.
I
I've not
know.
played it either, and I want to.
Yeah.
Perfect Tides, Mass Effect 2, Half Life
Oh,
Alyx, and What Remains of Edith Finch. What do you think?
okay. This is a very good list. So I got to come up with something that can stand alongside those. So this is just kind of like if we were sending out something into space to
Yep.
capture like the best video games.
Well, this is like if everyone forgot about video games, and then like you were the only person who remembered video games, and you were like, these, you should play these
Oh,
to the future generations.
I would say, oh, this is so hard because there's so many good options.
Mhm.
I would say, I'm going to say a recent game, very recent game,
Oh.
because I think this game is universal, can be played by anyone, any age, with no knowledge of this IP or lots of knowledge of the IP. And I think Pocopia
Oh, amazing.
is a game that is so special in the story that it tells,
Mhm.
specifically with this kind of context
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
love letter that it is to this wildly successful IP, but also the gameplay mechanics and the simplicity of it. It feels like such a perfect amalgamation of so many video games, and we hear this on every podcast that talks about Pocopia. It's a mixture of all these different things,
Yeah.
but it just feels like a perfect video game for what it needs to be.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna do a very recent. I'm gonna say Pocopia for this answer.
That's awesome. I love a recent answer. We don't get them very often.
Mhm.
And I'd have to agree with you. I'm loving Pokopia. Like you say, it's the ultimate cozy game. It's just cozy, man. You're just
Mhm.
chilling in a
Yeah,
place with all your favorite Pokemon. It's what more can be said?
exactly. It's
Um,
perfect.
and I'm afraid that's all the questions I've got for you, Cameron. You've been amazing, obviously. Sorry
Oh,
about
thanks,
the whole
buddy.
devouring your memories thing.
That's okay. You got 35 years of a little trauma in there,
Yeah.
but some of the good stuff too. You're
Yeah.
you're very well fed right
Yeah,
now,
I'm,
I
I'm
hope.
satisfied with those answers, so thank you. Um, just before you go, do you want to go ahead and tell anyone where they can find you, any upcoming projects?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm known as the French Dip Design. That's my design and illustration business. You can go to thefrenchdipdesign.com to purchase art prints, stickers, apparel. All of my original designs are on there. That's also where you can fill out a form to work with me. So if you need a new logo, new brand identity, if you want to make some cool merch, that's where you can find me and fill out the form. That's where I got to meet our boy Sam Hall, which was such a pleasure because it's led to this conversation.
Hell yeah.
And then, of course, every weekday you can find me at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/TheFrenchDipDesign, where we're having very cozy, very chill video game streams where we sometimes do some art. Sam, what's the time difference?
I was just
How can
about to
you want to
say.
convert that for me,
I was just
buddy?
about to say. Okay, for all the UK listeners, I think currently that what time did you say then?
7:30 a.m. Pacific time.
That's so early. Anyway, yeah, I think that's 3:30. That's PM UK time.
What time does Kind of Funny go live for you?
Oh, well, okay, it's complicated, but only because the UK is stupid and we have British summertime. So like twice a year the clocks go forward or back depending on when it is.
Yes.
So the clocks have just gone forward. So I think Kind of Funny go live at 5 p.m.
Okay. So it's 2.5 hours before Kind of Funny goes live.
Oh,
So
okay.
about 2:30 p.m.
Maybe they go live at 6 then.
Around that time. Hey, if you follow me on twitch.tv/TheFrenchDipDesign, click
Yeah.
the bell thing, and
Yeah.
then you'll get notifications when I go live, and you can hang out with Sam Hall.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be there. I'm pretty sure everyone. It's 3:30 p.m. BST currently.
Lock it in. That's the
and then in
answer.
the winter it'll be an hour earlier or whatever. But
Okay.
yeah,
We got there.
there you have it, everyone. Go and follow Cameron everywhere. I've been Sam Hall. I wish you all a wonderful month, and I'll see you next time on Memory Cards. Bye bye. So that's it for this episode of Memory Cards. Thank you to Cameron for coming on the show, and thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and leave a comment telling me the game that means the most to you and why. You can find me almost anywhere at Sam Hall of Games. Thank you to Bluefields for the music. Thank you to The French Dip Design for the logo and podcast art. Go make some gaming memories, and I'll see you next time on Memory Cards.